Well, hello everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are and you are watching or listening to me. This is the Adepna Show, as always, on Friday night, 6 p.m. United States Eastern Standard Time. We are here to discuss a couple of topics. So today with me in the studio is Bishop Alexander Edujemfi. Bishop, welcome to the Adepna Show.
Thank you, my sister Adepena. Thanks for having me this evening.
Thank you. We miss you. We haven't had you on the show for a couple of weeks now, so
I know. I
we all
travel.
miss.
Please forgive me, and I'm back. So
Welcome back then.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop. So today our topic, we are going to discuss why some women choose to, I don't know if they choose to stay in toxic relationships. So we are going to talk about the I don't think there is any cons pros to this, but we are going to discuss this topic today. So Bishop, before we start, my first question to you is, how do you define a toxic or a bad relationship or marriage?
Thank you, Pastor Sister Adepena. Do I have to call you Pastor Adepena?
If you want to, yes.
and thank you for the topic you have brought on the table. It's very interesting.
Thank you.
And so let me first say, in the first question you are asking me, how do I define a marriage or a relationship as a toxic one?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Anytime we talk about toxic relationship or marriage as a toxic one, we are talking about a relationship whereby the dynamics between the two couples are consistently harmful.
Okay.
They are consistently, not once, but consistently harmful. And many a times it's detrimental to the one or both parties' mental and emotional well-being. What do I mean by that? I'm talking about their relationship, their connection, their communication, dynamics, anything about them eventually brings misunderstanding. They are not happy about it at all. And normally such relationship is characterized by unhealthy pattern or behavior of life. Unhealthy pattern or behavior. And if I use the word unhealthy pattern, I'm talking about certain things that are fond of happening in that kind of relationship.
Okay.
And typically, one of them is manipulation. One manipulating the other. Not only once. If it's once, we will not describe it as toxic relationship. Control, one controlling the other. Emotional abuse is evident. I'm mentioning some of the characteristics that are happening most often in such relationship. Emotional abuse. It can even be physical abuse or sexual abuse.
Okay.
When you are not ready, forces you. Can say anything, anytime, anything, and still without saying I'm sorry, without apologizing. When we are talking about toxic relationship, we are talking about relationship that you are in. That can, the emotional abuse can lead to feelings of low self-esteem and insecurity.
Okay.
Because of what the person will tell you. Makes you look as if you are worthless.
Okay.
How can this man say this to me? And so you are in it. It's a kind of relationship whereby you don't get any support from that person. Not only that, you don't receive any respect, lack of respect in the relationship. He can say anything to you without saying, I am sorry. no healthy communication. I'm talking about some of these things. Conflict and constant criticism, always criticizing you. He sees your negatives more than seeing your positive. Do 9 positive and do 1 negative. He will enlarge and exaggerate the negative more than the positive. And this is the kind of relationship I'm talking about. If it's only once, I will not describe it as toxic relationship.
Okay.
But all these things that I'm mentioning, a relationship that where there's no trust, you can't trust the man, and yet you are living in it. Let me end. If you give me a chance, I'll go on and on and on and talk about some of the characteristics that can be found in it. And these things are pattern. I'm not saying once. They are pattern. You see either today or the next day. You see today or the next day. Every other day, every week, any of these things that I'm mentioning is evident in that relationship. And has been on for years. It could be months, years, and you are still living in it. I therefore consider this relationship as a toxic relationship.
All right, thank you. So our viewers, if you are watching us wherever you are, welcome to the Adia Pena Show. So today we are discussing why some women choose to stay in toxic relationship. And I just asked Bishop to define what toxic relationship or marriage is. So Bishop, thank you very much. So my next question will be, what normally turns a marriage into maybe a beautiful marriage to become toxic marriage or relationship?
Thank you, Sister Adia Pena.
You keep calling me pastor. I think I have to start my pastoral duties.
I don't know. You've asked a very good question. Nobody will carry money and go and do or no woman will just dress up to go and marry or be in a toxic relationship.
Okay.
Which simply means almost every beginning of every relationship was very brilliant, beautiful. Honeymoon relationship. The question then is, how can such a relationship yesterday was so beautiful, everybody was envying such a relationship, and the following year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, the relationship people were even desiring to have has now turned to become toxic. It comes with so many factors, Adia Pena, because the people that we are saying their marriage is toxic today, 5 years ago when they were married, it was the envious relationship everybody was looking for.
That's true.
Branche de minyano kame wareno. Obey de minyano kame wareno. How come after 4 years, 3 years, 5 years have become toxic? What are the factors that lead a beautiful, flamboyant relationship to become toxic the next 5 years, the next 2 years, the next 3 years? Factors. Let me see if I'll be able to give you. Number 1, Adia Pena, anytime we are in a relationship, and most especially when a relationship moves from honeymoon state, because we have states of marriage has about 7 stages. The first stage of every marriage, we call it honeymoon stage. Honeymoon stage is when you don't know the bad side of the woman. You only see the good side. You have not lived with her. You have not lived with him. Honey. 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 Yeah, they are serving you anything, even on the bed. That is the honeymoon stage.
Okay.
The question then is, what normally causes a marriage to move from first stage to the second stage? And the second stage is called the realization stage.
Okay.
Hey, this is what here? Realization stage. It's when there is mistake found. Could be one reason. For a marriage to move from such a beautiful that you are talking about honeymoon stage to another stage, it could be realization stage, it could be toxic. It comes with so many factors. One of them is when the relationship begins to experience much conflict. I didn't say one. Begin to experience consistent conflict, consistent misunderstanding. Yesterday they fought, today they are fighting, and tomorrow they fight. And it begins, once such a situation begins, it's moving the relationship from the honeymoon stage to toxic stage.
Okay.
That could be one of the reasons. Number two, when the couples begin to experience lack of communication or unhealthy communication, exchanging words. Number three, when the relationship begin to experience lack of trust. When there's lack of trust, it's moving gradually the relationship from the honeymoon stage, where everybody was clapping for us, envying our relationship, eventually to a toxic state.
Yeah.
Number four, when one party begin to live with infidelity, not being faithful to the other partner, and which the tree would say, "Who will us our garden? You have a small garden somewhere else."
Yeah.
Then it begins to move the relationship to a toxic state. When one begin to control the relationship, have control over the relationship, men can be either my way or no way. It's moving the relationship to a toxic state. When communication breaks down, dishonesty has set in. I'm talking about all these things that I'm mentioning begin to creep into the relationship because we don't sit down and communicate, because we don't sit down and even discuss issues. Anytime we sit down, it becomes a fight, it becomes a conflict, it becomes criticism. So I would have decided not to say anything anymore. There are so many factors when the relationship begin to suffer emotional and physical abuse. And always putting the other person down, making that person, your partner, feel inadequate, constantly finding fault with him or her. It's a sign that you are moving the relationship into toxic. I'm bringing all these points. I can give you on and on and on accusation. And when we don't sit down and settle the issue amicably, and we allow it to be there more than usual, eventually it's gradually creeping the relationship into a toxic state. So toxic doesn't come overnight. One will come. We are not able to solve it. Then it leads to another. We are not able to solve it. Then it leads to another. We are not able to solve it. Anytime we try to solve it, one is not ready to even say, "I'm sorry." Not knowing how to say, "I'm sorry." And the other also don't know how to forgive. And everything, eventually, I think, have I been able to give you a little information about what I said?
Yes, you have.
These are some of the things gradually can lead a relationship into a toxic relationship or marriage. Even to a point that it will come, you don't have any. The moment you get to toxic, it means you don't have any interest in it. It gets to toxic, it means, hey, it gets to toxic, it means I don't have joy in that thing. I may live in it, and I have a reason, but the actual joy, my heart is not in it. Unhealthy, not helpful for even my health and my soul. That is what these are some of the factors that can lead relationship. So in short, anytime we see any of this, there's an adage when we're young, we were told, "Adia Pena, a stitch in time saves nine." I don't know if you still.
Yeah, I do remember.
A stitch in time saves nine.
Yeah.
To what time if it has a set to one family and pamua a better film. That is the simple meaning of it. Once you see it little over there, solve it. If you leave it ajar, it will extend to another thing. And that is the reason why many people, it didn't start overnight. It started from something, they failed to solve it, and another creep in, they failed to solve it before they realize one that used to be one has now become 3 or 4. If that at that time you don't solve it, it's growing like cells. Eventually, has so many branches, and then the relationship becomes toxic. Have I been able to offer a letter?
Yes, you have. Thank you so much, Bishop, for this topic that we are discussing and your knowledge that you are giving us. I want to inform our viewers that if you are watching us, please don't forget to share the program so others also can watch and listen and be educated. And also, please send in your comments, your concerns, anything you want to ask Bishop about the topic we are treating today. Today, we are treating why some women choose to stay in toxic or bad relationships or marriages. So, Bishop, with all this causes that you have just told us about, some of the causes of what causes bad relationship and marriages, why do some women choose to stay in these toxic relationships?
When it comes to women, they have their reasons.
I
And
love
when
him.
it comes a lot, yeah. And when it comes to men, they also have their reasons.
Okay.
But because we are dealing with women, I'll give the women one.
Okay. Oh, so for clarification, it means some men also are in toxic relationship.
100%.
Oh, okay. I thought it's only women. Oh,
There be.
I see.
Some men are in toxic relationship, especially when the woman is controlling. They can leave for so many reasons. But let's dwell on the women's side because you are
Okay.
asking
About the women.
women.
Okay.
When it comes to women, personally, I can give you about 12 reasons why some women stay in bad marriage.
Okay. We are
12 or more why women stay in bad marriage, toxic relationship. They know they don't like it, but they will still stay in. They know it's eating them up. It's not good for their health, but they are still staying in. What could be their reason? Let's look into that. Number one, some women choose to stay in toxic relationship because they still love the man.
After all the abuse?
After all the abuse. I don't know. I've gone to places where the man beat the woman, and so the woman still love the man.
That's love one thing.
I'm saying, I see you. I have a car. I'm saying,
Wow.
Some may have what we don't see that they see from the person. They laugh. Outwardly, the person can beat insult, but there's another one particular thing, which someone said, focus decides your feelings. Focus decides your feeling. At times, what you focus that you said he should leave, he is also focusing on another thing that is allowing him even to remain in that relationship. So to somebody, he says because of love. Number two, because of point number two, because of time. Some also choose to stay in toxic relationship because they hope one day the man will change. They hope one day. Oh,
and they'll be like, I'm praying about it.
That's right. I'm praying the man will change. And such people, at times, I don't blame them because they know initially it was not so.
That's true.
Initially it was not so. And such people are the kind of people who have faith, and most especially, quote unquote, they could be Christians because they know God will hear their prayer.
Yeah.
And because of their faith, and they keep on praying, they know. And they might have heard certain testimonies about people whose marriage were worse than hers. And God has done it, so they know God will step in. With that, such people, they hope one day their partner will change. Point number three. Some also choose to stay in the marriage because they blame themselves.
Okay.
They blame themselves.
Could that be like they have low self-esteem?
It could be one of the reasons. At times, they've been told the fault is hers or his. And because that is why the man is abusing her. Okay. Because they might have done something which did allow the man to become what the man is now. So when they had realized their mistake, and they think that one day the man will change because they accepted the fault. At times they choose to stay in that relationship. It could come with so many ways, which I think you understand. Maybe the woman might have done something, and then the man began. Initially, he wasn't like that, but what the woman did has made the man become what he is now. So at times, people, and they will think because of what they did, that did allow the man to become what he is now. At times, they may accept the blame and decide even to stay and keep on praying that change will come. Number 4, some people choose to stay in bad or toxic relationship because of cultural and societal pressure. Cultural or societal pressure. Why am I saying this? Especially some women are in certain cultures. If you divorce, it brings a shame to your family. And because of that, the man is treating her bad, but she will remain for the sake of not to bring shame to her family. And she will sacrifice herself and endure only to give glory to the family, but she herself is dying within.
But if you die, where does the how does the glory continues?
Because when you are they don't want to
say glory, so why do you have to stay in it?
Some people assume that it may not happen here in America, but some places, I'm talking about some other cultures. If you with the manager, if you with the manager, if you with the so the quote and quote that thing or anything of that sort, he would rather prefer staying in, not to follow the tone that is in that bloodline. And yet the man is not helping. But for fear of what people say that,
wow.
And some will stay in that toxic relationship just to change the mindset of the people about that bloodline where they come from. And those are some of the things. Some also for fear of stigmatization. They will remain in that marriage. What do I mean by that? For fear of judgment or stigmatization, some people will choose to stay in a toxic relationship. Sister now kon wajawadi you. Near their target. See at the better target and say wajawadi. And you're better now. For fear of stigmatization.
Lord have mercy.
And at times it makes some people, sorry to use the word, that key word in America has changed things, but when you are in Africa, those things at times when they bring that thing upon you, at times people back off, especially when you are having 3 children, 2 children, 4 children, and you are divorced. That stigmatization at times make it very hard at times for you to get some people, not all, to get what they are looking for. And for fear of that kind of stigmatization, that label, sister wake no person you say wajawadi. Then she will stay there, which is very painful. Others also, point number 6, also continue to remain in a toxic relationship due to financial reliance. Due to financial reliance. What do I mean by that? And she cannot take care of herself. So as long as the man can take care of her, she doesn't like the way and certain behaviors and the attitude of the man, but she can't also take care of herself. It could be poor education or lack of education. It could be the man is taking care of about 90% or 98%. Because of that, even when she doesn't like it, she has to endure, remain in that relationship for the sake of the children and herself.
Or it could be sheer laziness. They don't want to go out.
It could be sheer laziness. I also agree with you. Because once a man begins to pamper you like that, you don't feel like working anymore.
Yeah.
Paying everything because the man's job is good. Because of that, he can also dump you and say anything to you because he's taking care of you. And all these things can also allow a woman to remain in a toxic relationship because she cannot take care of herself. Take note of that. At times, some too, it happens because she has a disability and she can't take care of herself. Maybe she's sick. She has a particular problem or sickness that she can't work. That disability alone can allow her, no matter how the man will treat her, she will remain in that relationship. All these are some of the factors that I'm talking about. For the sake of time, let me mention 4 more, then I bring it to a close.
Okay.
Some also say in this thing, due to lack of education. Due to lack of education.
Okay.
And especially where he has brought her into a big city, she can't work, he doesn't understand English, or the gap is too wide. University graduate versus high school dropout. And you don't fit in it. But the person is taking care of you and your children. And he's still also treating you like garbage be. But you can't go outside, you can't stand on your feet because of you have certain low education and low self-esteem and all these things. Therefore, baby, I would here will do any DNA no money united. No, when you're happy. But for the sake of what she's doing for you, you can't do for yourself. You stay in that toxic relationship. Some women are going through that situation.
Yeah.
I've also heard about some people due to fear, some people will say, because the man has said, the man might have threatened the woman. Say, who jamia? Mekun. And most especially if you're a woman and you have experienced that thing before. Whether your friend, your classmate, somebody in your neighborhood left somebody and the man took that person. Yeah. And normally when a man had invested too much on you and you become his property and now you are on top, beauty and everything, and decide to leave, at times, such a situation, I don't know, one happened here in America, in one particular state, I will not mention the name. And the person killed the woman. And most especially, these things happen. And some people can threaten you. It may not be physical threatening. It could be even spiritual threatening.
Yeah.
And if you are a person you have once witnessed something of that sort and the effect and the consequence of that, that can bring a fear upon you. And so if the thing is still toxic, you end up staying in that relationship. Others also choose to stay in toxic relationship, for fear of not having a substitute.
Yeah.
And most especially when you clock a woman, you clock in your 45 with 4 children. And they are not all that old enough for you to take care of them. But what the man is doing is not right. But you can't also stand on your feet. When the man decides not to support you, you stay in the toxic relationship. The man ain't. Yeah, my men, we used to do that. Our mothers used to.
Yeah.
And so at the age of 30 to 45, because on Timmy Shem Kwaranina. And as for fun Kwaranina so qua, Bemanin Fino as a means of punishment. And because of that, they stay in that toxic relationship. Some may even lose their life. Because 4 children, no education, and above all, at times, shape so I say, a member to the anti of an shape. It therefore, and the Memphana on I say on I am, sir. And these are some of the things, the last but not the least. Some people are also remain in toxic relationship due to low self-esteem. Not having confidence in themselves. No self-esteem. And the only confidence, you know, at times it may allow them. Let me end it finally, due to wanting to be a savior. Some people want to remain in the marriage. It's toxic, but meaning say, I want to be a savior. I want to change him. So I will stay in that relationship. I want to end here. And these are some of the factors some women most of these things that they dwell in, it could be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of them that will cause them to remain in such relationship. Back to you.
I'm just overwhelmed with. So, Bishop,
Mm-hmm.
there are some women, okay, they are married to these big men in higher places. Let's say,
That's
for
right.
instance, a pastor's wife, an elder's wife, like big men and their wives, and
That's right.
they are being maltreated, and they can't come out and say anything. They can't even report their husbands to people like that. How do you think they should go about their their bad relationship that they are in?
Yeah. When you ask me here, you are talking about such situation. How will they be? It's very important, especially when you marry someone who is a pastor, very dominating. And you don't want to expose or bring certain things out, let the cupboard out for the fear of it will affect his ministry and people may leave. Or he will be transferred. He will lose his job. Then you also consider once he loses this, it will also affect me too because I'm living in Mission House. It's for whose sake? That's why I'm leaving this place. At times, women consider all these things. And because of that, though it's very painful, but they can't even come out for fear of the position of their spouses. If it's a man of God, or if it's somebody like that you can't even expose him, I always do say, and I'm repeating this, anytime you marry and you are there with your partner, two of you, the man and the woman, no matter your position, choose 2 people outside, both of you highly respect, or 3 people. I repeat, Adepena, that both of you highly respect. Your husband respect that person, that man of God. You yourself respect that person. Then both of you agree in case any situation we are not able to solve. 2 of you must first agree during honeymoon stage so that you can take it to one of those people. Because as pastors or as certain leaders, as an elder, at times they don't want their issue to go out there or certain people. But when they have some people they personally, secretly respect, and you know such people, let those people come in.
Okay.
And such people should be someone who is more matured, who can keep secret, that both your partner highly respect. Because in marriage, I've come to understand that there are certain people, men, if you don't know and you discuss their negative and their issue to people, they don't want to. You rather degenerate the relationship.
Yeah.
What's our idea? And I don't know, some people don't want even their pastor to hear their bad side. They could be elders, presiding elder, a deacon, but not some pastor they on purpose of it. Because of the position in it.
Yeah.
They would prefer outsider, somebody you respect in New York, somebody you respect in so and so. He would rather prefer that you discuss that with the person than his pastor. That is why I'm saying you people should choose 2 people or 3 that you think your partner look up to that person, highly respect. If you take your issue to that place, your partner will feel comfortable. Then you take that. With that one, the issue can be resolved. Other than that, you will rather degenerate the situation.
Bishop, and I also think that some of the women, they love the fact that the church members call them, oh, Osof Mame kind of thing, you know. And it's my any day. You couldn't cry. Or to, because at the end of the day, she will be called Osof Mame, and she doesn't want to expose the husband of his bad deeds. Anyway.
And also, you are 100% right. But no matter what it is, at times they want to find somebody to talk to, and they don't. At times they are also very careful.
Yeah.
Whom they are going to talk to, for fear that that person will not let the cat out of the bag. Yeah. And most especially when the issue is that particular issue is very delicate. That's
true.
And then talk about I say pupo no dia obetimi. Now I send you one more. Me can't stop at yes.
Oh yeah, Matthias Epa.
One corner, that's why I can't say you can do it. And how do you handle such a situation?
Oh my.
So I saw for being you don't go through such a situation, which I would not like. Deacons need deaconesses be go through such situation. Of late, an issue attending a well-known church in America, in Ghana, among the Ghanaian community. A person is a deacon. He supports the church well, has a name. But the woman I raised her up when I used to do good news in Ghana, so he knew me from that thing is eating her up. But he's looking for somebody to talk. And that thing is very bad. Nobody, the moment their pastor hears or anybody hears, she will lose their position as an elder in that church. Which, to be precise, because of that, she has to call me all the way along from Ghana. What should I do? The husband also knew me very well and used to also be part of it. So I have decided whenever I go, I will try and handle the issue. Because normally we were, and yet, phone soon come.
Bishop, you waiting till you go to Ghana to solve this problem. Ubedu now bani adekrono enkuni. Can't you talk to them on the phone or maybe just a brief something?
At times, it should be a man and a man.
Oh yeah,
that's true. Bringing the two together.
That's very true.
Time it should be a man and a man. Then we sit down. Then you tell while the woman has briefed me this and this and this, and the person was highly respected. Then let's sit down and talk. Why he got into that situation. And nobody knows except the woman. And the woman is also not happy bringing this out. He has done it in the bedroom several, it's not solving. So he's looking for somebody outside the arena of their church community. So that the respect they have for him as an elder, rich and also paying money and doing all these things, he will maintain that glory. So he needs somebody from outside. I hope you understand it.
I do understand, Bishop. This is I'm just like it's really serious. Like the way the rate at which people go through certain things in marriages and relationships, and you can't even like talk about it. You can't talk to anybody about it. You can't say anything about it. It's nerve-wracking. Anyway, let's welcome some of our viewers. We have Kofi Lefty. Welcome to the Ade Pena Show, Mr. Asante. Welcome to the Ade Pena Show, and my one and only sister. I have Bernice here. Welcome to the Ade Pena Show. Please, if you can, just share this program so others can also watch it. Mr. Asante said low self-esteem and financial dependency. I think it's all about some of the causes of toxic relationship. Bernie said lack of job or skills to make a living, or laziness to work by yourself, therefore depending on someone. This is very true. Mr. Egbete, welcome to the Ade Pena Show. Bernie said some women stay in hope for a change. Yeah, Bishop has said that earlier. Mr. Kofi said Pastor is spot on. I agree 100%. Mr. Egbete said, what do you mean by toxic relationship? Oh, Mr. Egbete, you were late. So we are talking about relationships that doesn't go well. There is abuse, there is everything that is not right.
Criticism, misunderstanding.
Yes, it's either marriage or relationship, whichever you choose. We are talking about it. So, Bishop, What are some of the consequences that come arises with these toxic relationships?
If you are a woman or a man, you are in a toxic relationship. It comes with a lot of consequences. I may even enumerate some few. One out of this can be evident in your life if you are living in a toxic relationship or a bad relationship. Let me see. I may mention about 10, but at least if you are living in a toxic relationship, I can boldly tell you half of it will be evident in your life.
Okay.
Half of it will be evident in your life. Toxic relationship. Number one, it can lead to increased stress and anxiety. It can lead to increased stress. Just a minute. It can lead to increased stress and anxiety, because anytime you are in a toxic relationship, it stresses you. It makes you think too much. How would you live in a home and the man or the woman doesn't talk to you? How would you live in the home and the man or the woman doesn't communicate with you? It stresses you out. So to the best of my knowledge, number one, it can lead to stress or anxiety. Not only that, staying in toxic relationship can also lead to depression or mental health issues. It can depress you. You could be present but absent. You are always depressed because and this is the same person you are also living every day. And this is the same person not making you happy. And this is the same person taking you through this situation. So eventually, it can bring a depression upon a person when it's not solved. Staying in toxic relationship can lead to reduced self-esteem because of the way what he talked to you, emotionally abusing you, physically abusing you, sexually abusing you, doing bad stuff, saying negatives about you, seeing your negatives more than your positive. It can cause you to lose your self-esteem. At times, you lose your self-worth. As if that but it's not what they are saying. That is how you are. But at times, means of what by reason of what he's saying, you lose your self-worth. Staying in toxic relationship can lead to isolation from friends and family. Some people, certain toxic they can cause you to lose all your friends. That's what they want.
Yeah.
They can even allow you to isolate yourself from your own family members, your friends, classmates, and everything. And most especially when a woman who is sanguine happens to marry somebody who is not sanguine, either choleric or melancholy or phlegmatic, especially when the person is introvert. You will lose your self-worth.
Right.
Point number 4. It can lead to physical health problems. Toxic relationship can lead to physical health problems. It can lead to physical health problems, which we need to take note of that. It can weaken your immune system, cardiovascular issue. It will not even allow you to sleep well because you think too much, which eventually can even lead you to lose your appetite. Toxic relationship. Number 6, it can lead to difficulty trusting others. Anytime you remain in toxic relationship, you can't even trust people anymore because the way the person has been treating you, the trust you have for people is no longer there. So toxic relationship can lead you. When even right person is coming, you don't even trust them anymore.
Yeah.
And most especially women who have gone through that, and they come out of that, and somebody say, "I love you." If I was free,
Until I could cry.
Because of what he had gone through. As I say now, he has been healed. Who can love you? Because he had gone through so much. Even to a point that he has lost trust in men. At times, God can even send an angel. He doesn't want it.
Yeah.
Because he has seen too much. And most especially when they are staying in it for 5-7 years, through beating, lying, sex abuse, and so many other things, extramarital relationship. And the person also fears God. And he has gone through every prayer, all to no avail. If by the grace of God, things calm down. What is marriage? What is relationship? He doesn't want to hear that.
They don't want to hear about it.
Toxic relationship. Staying in toxic relationship can lead to loss of personal identity. It can lead to loss of personal times one kind of identity correct me. Say the car now you have lost your identity because of relationship. Bad relationship you are going through.
Yeah.
Staying in bad relationship can negatively affect the children.
Yes, that's very
Can
true.
affect your children.
Mm-hmm.
And potentially cause them emotional distress, impacting their development. Because when their mother is not happy, it can have a toll on the children.
Right.
At the end, because of permanent. How would the children feel when their mother is in a toxic relationship? It has a toll on them.
And Bishop, sometimes you know how, let's say for instance, you have boys at home and their dad is always beating the mother. They grow up to think that that is the norm of the day. So they too, when they grow up and they have girlfriends and wives, they think that's the right way to treat a woman. Then they also start beating their wives and their girlfriends and stuff like that.
It's true. That is what they learn from their parents. Because we don't have any marriage school. We have nursing school, your chemistry school, biology school. Mention any type, but marriage, we don't have marriage school. So what you see your parents doing is what you learn.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why when you marry somebody who is trained in Sojalai or police barracks, they are always strict. Such if you go and marry such a man whose parents were soldier men or I'm in army, always on you. That's right. Not beating you, but time. They are very time conscious. That's what I'm trying to mean.
Yeah.
Because that is what they saw their parents and they learned from them. So at times, environment also counts.
Right.
Let me end with a final one. Staying in toxic relationship can also impact your work performance or productivity. Anytime you are in a bad relationship or bad marriage, your desire, working energy to work can even go down.
That's true. Because you don't even have the energy to do anything.
So you can't produce. Toxic relationship is not a good thing. All these things that I'm mentioning, it can affect you. You, yourself, your health, your children, your energy, and everything. It's not a good sign. Amen.
Bishop, if a woman is listening to us right now and she's in a real toxic relationship, what advice would you give to that woman?
A very good question. I have an advice. If you're a woman and you are living with a man and you are going through such a toxic relationship, if you're a man living with a woman going through such a toxic relationship, I may have 7 keys to give it to you. Maybe one out of this may work for you.
Okay.
Number 1, recognize that you are in a toxic relationship.
Okay.
You have to admit that this is the situation you are in. Because if you don't recognize it, you can't come out of that. And we have already given a description about toxic relationship. It's a relationship whereby the man is always looking down upon you, exaggerating your mistakes and your fault, and not appreciating any good thing that you do. Relationship that he always see your negatives than seeing your positives. And relationship that the person use silent treatment to control you. He will never say anything for you to laugh. Relationship whereby the man will constantly correct you, but hardly would he even appreciate you. Time they can even use sexual manipulation. When you are not happy, ready to do it, they can force you to do it. It's all always about they themselves and not you. There are so many symptoms.
When you are ready to, they don't want to give it to you.
When you are ready, they are not ready. And you can't do anything. And such a situation, first admit that. Once you admit that you are in a toxic relationship, that is point number one.
That is the beginning of the journey.
That's the beginning of the journey. Number two, what do I do? I will suggest point number 2, open communication. All these things that we have been mentioning, if it's evident in your marriage, find time to communicate with the man. Bring all these things out. How it's not helping. But before that, if you're a believer, spend time to pray about it. And secondly, as I did say earlier on, a stitch in time saves 9.
Right.
Because there are certain things some people saw it for fear of if I say it, the person may desert me, leave me, or bring this in. And they just filed them without saying anything. And now it couldn't save 9. So many things have crept in. But maybe initially, if there had been an open communication, maybe you would have been able to save the relationship earlier than this time. So because of that, find time, pray about it, meet the man. Look for an opportune time that he's in a good mood. Sit down with him and discuss. How it's not helpful to your health and to the relationship and to the children and to he himself. Ask God to give you the grace to speak. It's not a time just fighting back. No. It's not a time also proving a point. No. You sit down, reason with him. Speak up. Express your feelings. But in a positive manner. And pray about it. The God that sees prayer and hears prayer will step in.
Answer your prayer.
And answer your prayer. Another major antidote, apart from open communication, if you have tried that and all to no avail, the third one that I would say is that seek professional help. Seek professional help.
Counseling.
Seek counseling. And most especially if you and the man attend the same church. And you have your pastor is a married counselor or somebody who has knowledge and your partner also respect him. Let him come in. Or someone both of you highly respect. Let the person come in. It's all about the well-being of the relationship, marriage. Because Bible commands us, Proverbs chapter 11, verse 14, to seek guidance from the wise and mature individuals, especially when our relationship is going through difficult situation. That is what the Bible says. Point number 4. Anytime your marriage is going through toxic relationship and you need to come out of that, James chapter 1 verse 5 also encourages to seek wisdom from God to identify the toxic patterns and behaviors. Times, such situation, go before God, commit your husband, your wife before God, and seek divine wisdom, how you should go about it. Because at times, your approach also means a lot.
Yeah.
If you approach it and you don't approach it well, eventually, it will rather backfire.
It will backfire.
Point number 5. Set boundaries. If you are finding solution to a toxic relationship, at times you must set boundaries.
That's very true.
Because you need to set boundaries, especially in your relationship, and particularly when the person that you are dealing with is very harmful and very manipulative. You must set boundaries.
Yeah.
Which is very important. What to do and what not to do, what to say and what not to say, how to even protect yourself from certain areas. Number 5, 6. Another major key that can help you to come out of toxic relationship is to practice self-care. Practice self-care. And not only self-care, and self-love as well.
That's true.
Care about yourself. Care about yourself. And you must also love yourself. If you do not love yourself, at times what they say can also cause you to hate yourself. Focus on the good side of yourself. Stay in the mirror. Turn yourself and speak good about yourself.
And tell yourself you are beautiful.
Say to yourself, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm very beautiful. Other than that, if you focus on what he tells you every day, you may drink even poison.
And die.
Care about yourself. Because at times, places where you are expecting certain words to come out of may not come out from that place.
Yep.
And if the people that you're expecting them to encourage you turn back against you, encourage yourself in the Lord. I learned this from David. When he himself have 2 wives, all his other soldiers, 600 men, have 1 wife. All of them have been taken. But they decided people who were supposed to encourage David turned up about to stone David. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 6. Verse 6 but David encouraged himself in the Lord.
Yeah.
If you don't learn to encourage yourself in the Lord, at times people who are supposed to encourage you may not even encourage you.
Right.
Love yourself. Love yourself. Say, look at the good side in you and say to encourage yourself. And I'm telling you, you will rise up. And those are the times that you have to remind yourself that you deserve better. Remind yourself that I deserve better. Another major thing that can encourage, come out of toxic relationship is to foster empathy and understanding. Foster empathy and understanding. At times, you need to understand where the person is coming from. And you must have pity for the person. Other than that, you cannot come out of that situation. Because you know what she doesn't know.
Is this where we say endure, or we don't have to endure?
Endure also has its place.
Okay.
But I'm dealing more with, at times, be able to put yourself into the shoes of the person. Because anytime you talk about empathy, be able to put yourself into what the person is going through.
Maybe they don't know better.
That's right. You must have a way of dealing with this situation. Other than that, and at times, if you want to come out of such a toxic relationship, at times the way they see things is different from the way you see things.
Yeah.
And so you must see it from their perspective, and then be able to analyze the situation and help to resolve the situation. That's where I'm taking. Some 2, if you want to, number 9 or 8, if you want to come out of toxic relationship, at times you must take a responsibility of your own action. And most especially if the fault is from you.
Okay.
Take responsibility of your action.
Your own action.
And most especially if it was through you that the man became what he is. Take a responsibility. Let me add the last, then I bring it to a close.
Okay.
Foster trust and forgiveness. Two things: trust and forgiveness. Anytime you don't trust people and you keep on not trusting, and you focus on the negatives of the person, you will never trust the person. And eventually, the thing will continually be toxic. But at times, we must learn to forgive. We must learn to trust. There are some people, because of a mistake one person has done, they are not ready to erase it out of their mind. No matter anything that you do, they still focus on your negatives. What's the sign? Mean you need, me show back 5 years answer. Hey, what was the sign? Oh. Anything no that's so punishing the other person there. At times too. And the more you focus too much on the negatives, you don't see the positive from the person.
Yeah.
But you must learn to always, irrespective, give a person a second chance. Maybe situation can change.
Well, Bishop, thank you. I also want to add that if you're a woman, and I'm thinking maybe sometimes when you are home doing nothing, it also might aggravate the situation. So get busy, right? Get busy. Find something doing.
100%.
Use your hands to do something. Get some job. Get a job. Ebia unifia adiachi. Na se wa sorry no akwa adwuma. Ukwa maybe can subside some of the things that goes on in the house. If you are jokakra. So if you're a woman, just get busy. If you are not working, find something to do. And even no crampo no will let the husband see say your husband see say you are busy doing something. Sometimes too, when the men are stressed, you are home, you don't do nothing, or no or and all that, or breaths are not the stress ni na aba beguso. But if you are going and coming and supporting and stuff like that, it can also subside some of the troubles that arises from this. So Mr. Asante said, I think he was talking about you, Bishop. He said you just spoke my mind and personal experience. So I think when you were talking about children being involved when the parents are fighting and all that. So yeah. Mr. Kofi Obibini said, Adiepena, great analogy, but it goes both ways. In fact, men in toxic relationships face double jeopardy from families and in-laws and the community. Yeah, so Mr. Kofi, you are right, but for today, we are focusing on women, right, Bishop?
Yes.
Okay, so that is it. Thank you. Mr. Gbete said exactly. He also said every marriage that has lasted over a year has witnessed series of forgetfulness or forgiveness. Okay. Yeah. He again said no marriage can survive without forgiveness. That's
right.
That is very, very true.
That's right.
Well, Bishop, thank you very much for. Go ahead, please.
So please forgive.
Yeah,
forgive.
I will forgive. Sometimes it's not easy, but everybody, you should try and forgive. It's very important to learn how to forgive in relationship. I think communication viewer, forgiveness should be next. So you'll be able to forgive your partner or your husband and then you move on, right, Bishop?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Gbete said. Okay. Yeah, I do forgive. Oh, me, I forgive. Pa, who? I forgive. Oh, I do. You people will kill me before my time. Yeah, I do forgive. It's important to, by Bishop. Sometimes it's when why is it that sometimes you forgive and you can't forget? Why?
At times, due to the pain, and it takes a while. You
Okay.
can forgive, you can't forget. The healing takes a time. Time will heal the wounds.
See.
When the wound is very fresh, it takes a while. But
Mm,
gradually, as the day go by,
with time, yeah.
with time,
You are healed. You can
you are
forgive
healed.
totally
You
and
may
forget.
not even forget it, but still the pain will not be there.
Mm,
It can be the next 5 years. You still remember what the person does, but the
right.
pain will not be there. You can't even laugh with the person.
That's very true.
Uh-huh.
I so love my viewers. The comments and the questions they bring along are very, very interesting. So see, my sister is speaking for me. Oh. She said, not everything you can forgive. It's very true. It's not just me fighting with you guys here. Mr. Agbete said, I know my right doesn't work in marriages. The purpose is to exhibit godly characteristics. It's
That's
not
right.
just the women. No. Marriage or relationship is hand go, hand come kind of thing, right, Bishop?
Mm-hmm.
So it shouldn't come from just one person trying all the forgiveness and the saying of the sorries and all that. So we heard you, we are going to forgive, but you too. All right, thank you everybody for coming and watching and listening and learning. We've learned a lot, Bishop. Thank you so very much for coming. Thank you for your time. Me, I know you are a very busy person. I'm always appreciative when you spare me just 1 hour of your time, and I'm really, really grateful. Bishop, as we are leaving, what is your final word for us? Someone is watching us right now. This person is in terrible relationship and finding it difficult to come out. She doesn't even know how to come out. Like she doesn't know where to start from. She'll be like, where should I start from? If I leave right now, how am I going to live? How am I going to cope? How do I start? These people, what are your final words for them, please?
Thank you. As a marriage counselor, at times it's not one size fits all. If I'm advising somebody on such situation, I have to assess the situation. And I take so many things into consideration.
Okay.
The person's education, the age, the children, what is the person doing? Then at times you begin to give the right solution to the person. But in all this situation, this is what I would say. Because of number one, my profession.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy for me to tell you walk out of the relationship because it's toxic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Point number one, God hears prayer.
Amen.
God answers prayer.
Amen.
At times too, it is the enemy who has done this.
Mm-hmm.
At times it's the enemy who has done this. Some marriages at times can be instigated by evil spirit. Allow
That's
it.
true.
So don't give yourself to prayer, number one, because prayer itself can bring healing. I repeat, prayer brings healing. Look for godly counsel, which is also another major key. 3, forgive your partner. Because the more you hold on to unforgiveness, at times it can lead to so many things.
Yeah.
Unforgiveness can cause you to take certain decisions eventually for your own self and neglect your own children. Women are fond of doing that. At times when they are taking certain decisions, they don't even consider the children. And they want to do something to pay the person back, neglecting the condition of the child, the children as well. Number 4, as we are talking about empathy and understanding. Some people are doing certain things, kind of lifestyle the man or that person is in. And then let's remember them in prayer.
Yeah.
At times they want to come out of that situation, but they don't know how. Thank God that you know the Lord. In the beginning, it was not so. That is what the Bible said. How come it has become like this? Remember that man in prayer. And I promise you, with God, all things are possible. All things are possible. And last but not the least, reinforce positivity. Don't focus too much on the negatives of others, especially your partner. It can cause you to do harm. In the midst of all that he's doing, can you find 2 good things in that person that you can focus? Anytime married couples come to me and they want to desert their marriage, they want to divorce. Whilst counseling them, I'll separate them and give them a sheet of paper. Apart from all the negative that you know, ever since that you leave, write only 3 to 5 positive. But normal 5 and 3. Not dear, which you could do and which way in America. Write that thing for me. You too write that thing for me. Then I'll sit to here. I need 5. By the time they finish writing that 5, they no more go home cook. Very sad, very painful. But I always force them to do that.
Yeah.
Then I tell you, focus on that and recite this 10 times. By the time they will leave in my office, already healed. So I'm only encouraging. Time, I don't know why God brought that person into your life.
Yeah.
Don't quickly desert that marriage. But remember that person in prayer. Unless it had gotten to a place where your health is at risk. With that one, you still need a counsel, a godly counsel to know what to do next. If it's not to that height, please, let's continue to remember them in prayer. For with God, all things
are possible.
That is my piece.
Yes. With God, all things are possible. So, Bishop, I also want to add that sometimes when it gets too heated, right, you can also separate from each other. Take a break, few weeks, few months, and then you can come back. And then, God, this platform, we don't encourage divorce, right? But
100%.
take a break for a few weeks, a few months.
Right. I'll use the word few weeks, not few months.
Okay.
Few months, will be few months, but 4 months.
So just take a few weeks, like prepare your heart, prepare your mind, prepare yourself, and then come back, and hopefully by the time you return, things will be settled, things will be cool. Maybe there's been some sort of communication here and there. People are talking to him and all that, and then when you are back, things will go to how it used to be, and you all will have a beautiful relationship. So thank you everybody for coming. Thank you, Kofi Lefty. Thank you, Bernice. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you everybody for coming and listening and learning with us. Or Bishop, I can't say thank you enough. Once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for always responding to my call whenever I want you or I need you on the platform. I really, really appreciate you, and I say may God richly bless you. Bye-bye, everybody. Next week by this time, I don't know the topic we are going to discuss, but within the week, I might post the flyer on my page. Follow us on all social media, Adia Pena Show, and also please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and may God richly bless you all. See you next week, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, people.